Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Holler Board Games. I'm Dave.
I'm Joanna.
And today we are going to be talking about our favorite fall games.
Yep.
It is the first day of fall, and so we thought this would be a good video to do to bring in the season. And I will say that closer to Halloween, we're going to have a video up of our favorite horror games. So we're going to try our absolute best to avoid horror games on this fall list and just do games that kind of make us think of the season or represent the season.
Feeling.
There is sort of one horror game on here, but we'll cover that when we get to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start the list. Guys, as always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. We're just going to be giving you guys a real brief overview of these games, and hopefully you find something that springs your interest, that makes you want to go and play this game if you have it, or buy this game if you don't have it, and put you in the mood for fall. So the first game that I'm going to talk about is Spire's End Hildegard. Now, this is one that I've played that she actually hasn't played at all. This one is technically for 1 to 2 players. I think it was better solo. It works much better solo. So I've been playing this one solo. But long story short, what brings this one into the realm of fall is the artwork and the setting and the feeling of it. If you look at all of the artwork in this game, of course I'll have pictures of it up, but there are leaves falling. The whole thing is themed in fall. And you're essentially playing as this character who's going on an adventure in this world. It has a really unique dice system where you're matching symbols up to do damage and complete things. I really enjoy Spire's End. The whole thing, when you lay it out on the table, it just really invokes that fall theme. Cool. Next up
is Septima. Septima is a very witchy game. It's about as witchy as you can get. So perfect for the spooky season. You are playing as witches trying to build up your coven. You are doing witchy activities, collecting witchy items, and trying to not be burned at the stake. It is a little bit of a longer game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a heavy lift in terms of understanding it, figuring it out. It's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
The first time we played it, I was like, I think I like this. But then the second time I was like, yeah, I definitely like this. But it is not an easy one, but it's very interesting. I love the theming of it. And it's very witchy.
I really like the trial mechanic of like saving people from being put on trial in the witch trials, and then they join your coven if you successfully save them. I enjoy that mechanic of it. It's very, 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 very spooky season. Not horror. It's not horror.
No, it's not scary at all.
But it's very spooky season.
Definitely.
All right. Next up on the list is Scooby-Doo, the board game. I really like Scooby-Doo in general. I've been a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
Who's not a Scooby-Doo fan?
Right, yeah. Like, if you don't like Scooby-Doo, I don't know.
Just get out of here.
I've loved Scooby-Doo since I was little, and this is a good experience as a board game. It's super good for kids. This is one on the list that you could sit down, you could play with kids. I don't remember exactly what the age rating on it was. I think it was 8 plus or 10 plus or something
reasonable
like
for
that.
a middle schooler.
Yeah, it's very easy to play. It's very easy to set up. You play as the gang, Velma, Daphne, Fred, Scooby, Shaggy, one of them, and you're kind of traveling around and you're running from or defeating these Scooby-Doo, very classic Scooby-Doo monsters. And the whole thing is just, when you picture a Scooby-Doo board game, this is exactly what you're picturing.
Exactly what you would expect.
So if you're into spooky Scooby-Doo stuff, go ahead and pick up Scooby-Doo, the board game.
All right, next up is Spooky Escape Games. So we kind of are using this as a category, so forgive us for that, but
it's a little bit of a cop-out.
Yeah, a little bit. But we've have a few of them. I think you did the unboxing of
the key Enigma games.
Yeah, we haven't got to play any of those yet. Some of those are spooky themed. Most of those are spooky themed. We just finished the giant Doomensions, which we'll do a review of at some point.
Yeah.
But it's a haunted house with a demon in it, and you're trying to
and it's a whole mansion in a book that folds out, and the whole book is the actual play surface.
Yeah.
So you're trying to solve mysteries in this
and
house,
you have this manifesto book that you're looking through too. So I love games with components that you can touch and interact with and are very thematic and pull you in. And a lot of these escape games are kind of like that. And not all of them are like you're trying to escape from something, but it's a mystery that you're trying to solve or puzzles that you're trying to solve to get to the next part of the game. So it feels like an escape room.
Even the smaller ones like the Netscape and the Unlocked and all of those that are kind of cheaper.
Right.
Like all of those have some that are very scary themed. I think when you get into that escape category, like it inherently gets a little scary sometimes, and so we like to play these if we got a group of friends over. If we have 4 or 5 or 6 people over, we can throw one of these down on the table. You pretty much know that it's going to take an hour whenever you get to it. You pretty much know the time that you're going to be in it for.
Unless it's the Doomensions.
Yeah, unless some of them are super long. The Enigma unboxing, some of those are 8 hours.
Those are not.
No, those won't be playing with other people. Yeah. They're still great for fall if that's something that you're into. Absolutely. But yeah, check out those spooky escape games. I'll list some of the ones that we have and the ones that we've liked down in the description below. So if you guys like those, I'll put links to them. That way you can see exactly which ones we're talking about.
Definitely.
Next up on the list, I'll hand this one to you, and that is Mysterium Park.
Mysterium Park. So Mysterium Park is one that we just recently picked up. We've played it a few times. We picked it up on vacation, actually, and we played it with our little one. It is a game where you're playing as the director of a amusement park who has disappeared and apparently was killed, and he is a ghost now. There's a team of psychics that are trying to determine what happened to him, and you are the other players are the psychics, and so you're trying to give them clues based on pictures that are on the board, and you have pictures.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah. It's really challenging at times.
But it's easy to understand.
It's really easy to understand.
It's very easy to understand.
Yeah, but
you have these abstract cards that have colors and pictures. They all look like abstract paintings.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, maybe there's just a lot of the color red in the suspect that you're trying to lead your person to. So you're giving them all of your cards that have a ton of red in them. Just trying to.
And maybe you don't have any red. Maybe you don't have any that make any sense at all. And that's just frustrating. But it's a really interesting, good game. I really enjoy it. But it's set in that like spooky, haunted amusement park situation. I'm sure there were a bunch of like Nightmare Before Christmas, a bunch of Goosebumps books set in that setting. So
our 10-year-old picked this one up super quick,
fast. And your mom picked it up too. Yeah, she does not like board games, aren't really. So, but even she was okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's really
super quick, super easy to pick up. It's also really cheap. I think this one comes in about $20 or $30, and it's
mostly just
kind of sets that spooky kind of feeling. And I will say actually too. This one, just kind of off on a side note, the components in this one are really good. The cards are really good. It comes with that little insert that has places for everything in it.
That's true.
The little orbs that you put on the cards are nice and plastic and translucent. I was really surprised at the quality of the components and stuff in this one whenever we opened it up. And it's very spooky. It invokes that spooky feeling.
It does.
So that is Mysterium Park.
Yep.
Next up on the list is one of mine, and that is Leaf. I actually set out to play Leaf when we thought about making this video. I'd never played it before. And so I have Tabletopia. If you don't know what Tabletopia is, Google that up. It's a paid service that you can get on your phone that will let you play certain board games right there on mobile. It's a really good service. But Leaf is on Tabletopia. So I actually set that up and played it a couple times. You haven't played this
I've not played it yet. But he showed it to me and I was like, okay, yeah, you have to play that so that we can put it on the list because it's very fall themed.
Even just based on the artwork, it was like this one really needs to go. But the idea of Leaf is you are sort of playing as the wind, and you are guiding leaves as they fall to the ground, and you're orienting them in such a way to where you're trying to touch different tips of the leaves together. And each tip of the leaf you touch together, you get to take an action where you get to draw a card based on the tile. If you're touching a green, you get to draw a card as another leaf into your hand that you can play. And there's yellow and red, and every different leaf has a different action. And there's a squirrel that's moving up the tree, and then there's mushrooms that can go out on the cards. There's animals. There's a little set collection element where you can get animals. And it
sounds adorable.
It's very, very, very fall themed. I mean, you're literally, the end of the game is like winter. so it's about as fall as you can possibly get.
Fall.
Yeah. So I really like Leaf. I haven't played it nearly enough. I played it on Tabletopia, and now I actually want to go out and buy it, which is what usually
I was going to say, I think
me.
you probably need to buy it, but I'm afraid to say that.
It's what usually happens to me whenever I play a game on like Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator.
How much is it before I tell you to buy?
It's fine. It's also very affordable. It's like $30-$40. It's not a bad game at all.
All right. I won't complain too much then.
Next up is another one of mine, and this is Welcome to the Halloween specific edition of Welcome to, not the zombie one. There's like a zombie one too, but that falls too much into horror for the fall list.
The fall one. Do we have that
This
one?
one is, yeah, we've got them all. I don't know if we've ever played the zombie one.
I don't think we have. I don't remember.
But this is the Halloween one. And in Welcome to, what you're trying to do is you're trying to build the best like 1950s neighborhood that you can, and you're building fences and pools and houses and all of that good stuff. It's a roll and write game. It doesn't take up much space. You can play this one with as many people as you have sheets of paper for. So I think the box literally says 1 to 100 people.
Yep.
So this is a great one to pick up if you've got a lot of people you want to play a Halloween game with. But the way the Halloween edition changes is it adds in like a trick or treat mechanism to where whenever you build a house, you can circle like either a candy or a ghost, and then you're trying to the first person who completes their ghost set, like they get a special thing, and then the candy gets a certain thing. So yeah, it just takes the base game of Welcome to, and there's there's a Welcome to for most things. There's a winter one, a spring one,
and they're all basically the same. If you played one, you just learn 2 more rules and you can play the next one. They all play pretty much the same.
Little tweaks.
Yeah. But it's adorable and it puts you in the mood for that season.
Yeah. Yep. All right, next up on the list is
Patchwork. So Patchwork is a perfect fall game for me because fall puts me in the mood of crafting, and especially cozy crafting. I'm a knitter. I'm not a quilter yet. Maybe I will be one day. But Patchwork is about quilting, and you have a grid, and your goal is to build the best quilt that you can out of these pieces that you can draw from. It kind of reminds me of Tetris. They're shaped in Tetris-y. Yeah. And so you got to fit them together in a specific way, and then you get points based on how good of a quilt you have.
And you're paying for everything with buttons.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You pay things with buttons. I meant to say that,
And then you have button income where you get buttons.
You get
like
buttons
so
in,
often.
yeah.
And if you're anything like me, you're terrible at it, and your quilt has just holes in it by the end of the game. I've never won a game of Patchwork against her, ever. Not even one time. So it's one of those that I'm not very good at, but I enjoy it all the same. It's short, it's simple.
And I just discovered that there was a Halloween Patchwork.
You did.
I didn't know about until...
There's a Valentine
5 minutes
Patchwork.
ago. Yeah.
There's a Halloween Patchwork.
There's Halloween I want.
Was there a Christmas Patchwork?
No, there's a Christmas Patchwork.
It sounds like we're ordering Halloween
Patchwork. And there's a
Patchwork.
Roll and Write Patchwork, and there's a Patchwork Express, which
I don't even know
started
what that
pretty
is.
fast.
It's not a long game as is. Yeah, so I guguess we're ordering Leaf and Halloween Patchwork. So, all right, next up is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg was one of mine. This one's kind of hard to explain, but you're playing as quack doctors, and you have
like snake oil salesmen.
Kind of witches, right? And you're pulling ingredients out of a bag and you're adding it to this cauldron that you have in front of you, which is very Halloween-y, and you're trying to get the right ingredients in there. If you get the wrong ones, the thing can blow up in your face, and if it blows up in your face, you get,
bad things happen.
You get you have to choose between whether you take points or whether you take bad things happen. It's probably for the purposes of this video where we're not going super in depth on rules. Bad things happen if you do that, but it's very very simple, very fun. I really like Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Pretty quick to pick up. We played it with friends that we explained it and picked it up right away. Got started playing pretty quickly. Yeah. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's easy, it's fun, it's simple to understand. It's something that you could even pull out on a weeknight and play. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's simple.
And it evokes that cauldron ingredients, that Halloween feeling. Yep.
Yeah.
And the last one on the list, this is the one that's going to cross a little bit into the line of horror, but it's not full-fledged horror, I don't think. Especially not once you see our horror list.
Yeah, there were 2 games that we felt skirted the divide. Yeah. So we put one on this one and the other one on the other one.
2 lines that kind of skirted it. This one's probably the most horror, but it is...
Abomination. So Abomination is a game about making Frankenstein a... buddy. Frankenstein, I guess, is lonely. And so you've got to make Frankenstein's monster another monster friend. So you were trying to gather things from the
Graveyards,
graveyard and other places, and the things that you're gathering are not savory
Blood
items.
Yeah.
They're kind of
kinda gory.
graphic and it's a little bit gory. And your goal is just to
Build Frankenstein a buddy.
build Frankenstein a buddy.
Yeah. It takes
so that he
place
can be
actually after the events of Mary Shelley's
Yeah.
Frankenstein. And so Frankenstein kind of comes to you and is like, hey, bro, you know,
I'm lonely.
I'm
I need a
lonely.
friend.
Build me a friend. And
Maybe this
yeah.
is how the Bride of Frankenstein.
This one kind of
Yeah.
crosses over into
Something like
gory, and I guess Frankenstein is kind of inherently horror. But
Mhm.
my thoughts on this one not being horror themed was that I'm not actually like shooting zombies. Its goal is not to scare me.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
The goal of the game is
Yeah.
not to scare me or to make me feel
It's just kind of macabre.
tense. That's a good word. That's
setting.
the perfect word for
Yeah.
it. Yep, it's kind of that. But yeah, that is our list of fall games.
Uh-huh.
Hope you guys enjoy that list. I hope you look those games up, and I hope you guys find something that you like, or this spurs an interest in you to play one of those games that you already have, and get ready for the fall season, which we love.
Yes.
'Cause
Happy fall.
Yep. All right, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and happy fall.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Bye.